back to Final Fantasy 16. Last time we had our first 3-on-1 showdown with Ultima Prime. Or Optimus Prime, as I'm going to call him. And it didn't really go too well. But so we're gonna make our way forward and see what we come to over here. Whether it's Ultima or Bahamut.
I'm sorry about Dion.
Don't be. Please. He did what he had to do.
And it's time we did the same.
Totally just spilled my coffee on my chair.
Should we stop?
Because of the cough. No, I think we're past that, Clive.
I suppose we are.
That light, so cold. So empty. We're close, aren't we?
It, seems that way. But I don't want to think what could be waiting for us in there.
Then think instead of those waiting for us at home.
Come on now, recenter yourself. Oh, here we go. I'm really hoping they turn this into like a full-on dungeon. Or not.
Clive.
We get like a boss rush at the very least.
They can't be.
But they are. This is the Nexus,
The Nexus, huh?
a wellspring of life. Yours and ours. As we watch the world.
Cool music.
slowly to its
Super
dark end.
sinister sounding.
It was here we pledged a new beginning. And now, with the ether we have harvested, I shall raise my kin from their
Uh-oh.
slumber.
That don't sound good.
That together we may usher in a new age of reason.
This was never about creation. Only self-preservation.
The only thing you're going to be ushering in is my
You
boot
condemned
in
an
your rear
entire
end.
world so that you alone might escape death.
Alone. Him. Alone. Clive. I think I understand. He...
Oh, poor little guy's just lonely. That was a really unexpected shift into what sounds like a major key in the song in the background.
They sacrificed their flesh to become beating hearts of crystal that pumped.
Okay, so I
lifeblood
was thinking
from
along
depths of
the
earth
right
until
lines,
their
that like you had the icons here and they just kind of sacrificed
they lay
themselves,
still.
left their bodies
After their
behind.
work was done, had you not set them free?
You meant for us to destroy the Mother Crystals. It's what you wanted all along.
You have our gratitude, Mythos.
Say Muthos one more time, man.
This you have
One
served
more
us well.
freaking time.
You have both served us well. Welcome home, brother.
I can't be your brother. We don't got those creepy eyes.
Joshua.
Are we going to officially take the Phoenix power from him now?
I thought it was me, but it wasn't my grasp that grew weaker. It was theirs that grew stronger.
Wow. That just got real.
Joshua! No!
Yes.
And now we can become one.
No thank you, sir. I will pass on your offer. Oh, man, that's not good. That is not good at all.
Clive. Don't speak. Shh. Shh. The one possessed of the destructive flames of Ifrit and the healing flames of the Phoenix. This, I once believed, would be Ultima's true form. But I was wrong. I see it now. Why you will never become Ultima's vessel.
I don't care. Just hold on.
Listen to me, Clive. You remember the murals? People once knew that Ultima was their god. That he created them. And they worshipped him, prayed to him, looked to him for guidance.
In vain.
In vain, for he did not listen, did not acknowledge our will, and so we strayed from his path to forge one of our own. So absorbed was he in his own desires, so driven by his own will alone, that he shunned the one thing that could have made him truly powerful. Faith. The same faith people now place in you. Faith that you will fulfill their dream, Sid's dream, of creating a better world for us. Faith that you will follow in Father's footsteps and save those who need saving most. Faith that you will answer Jill's plea to save yourself. The difference is, Clive, that you chose to listen, and that is what has steeled our bonds. Bonds that helped you stand firm when Ultima's pull was at its strongest. His power may be absolute, but so is ours. And so will yours be. With my light in your heart, not even a god might stop us.
Joshua!
Uh-oh. Are they merging?
Don't do it, you'll...
Enough, Clive. My body is too far gone. If the wound does not take me, the curse will.
Welp. Nice knowing you, Josh.
I have always been proud to call you my shield. But now, it is the world that needs you. Thank you, Clive, for being my brother.
Joshua, Look at me, Joshua. Open your eyes! Open your eyes, Damien! Why? Why did you do this? Joshua! Joshua!
And thus does the final piece fall into place.
Oh, man.
The incantation primed, but one task remains.
Ooh, that's not promising at all. That, I mean, it's promising. It's going to be one intense boss fight, I hope.
Still here. With me to the end.
Even now, you would deny the inevitable.
I do believe things are about to get real.
As we always have. And always will.
I like how we're back in the Typhon arena.
On this
And I love how he's using the onion sword for this.
shield, the Firebird's flame. Forevermore.
Oh, good stuff. The flaming onion sword. Get ready to get wrecked.
Nice try.
Oh, get out, get out, get out. Ow. Ow.
Nice try.
Ah, we totally whiffed on that one.
Nice try.
I don't know if there's much point sending out a tornado, but we'll try it. Oh, we whiffed on that one. Come at me, bro. Oh.
Countless centuries have I waited for this moment.
I bet you have.
This moment in which I might revel in my creation, only to find it profaned and so.
I'm getting some Warrior of Light vibes from this, from his helmet-looking thing. Onion Sword to the rescue. Onion Sword gonna save the day?
Unexpected. How is it that your will yet endures?
Because you're a wiener.
Easily broken.
But it can be broken. And I shall see it so. For such is my will.
Try it.
Uh-oh.
Too slow. Nice try.
Just get the stagger, dude. There we go. Hey. Ow.
This is the world of
Too slow.
Boop. Oh, come on.
Nice try. Too slow. Nice try.
There we go.
why?
One more phase? You gotta get really aggressive with him when he's in between his attacks. You gotta be super aggressive.
Sense more here than mere will. Is this logos? Have you truly become free? No, I forbid it.
Aw, sucks to be you, man. You don't get a say in it.
You are but flesh and bone. You are not one of us.
We'll see about that. We'll definitely see about that. Oh, he's big mad.
I created you, all of you. And what is mine is mine to destroy.
Oh, cool. Are we gonna get to play Rock'em Sock'em Icons one last time?
We are no longer yours.
Let's go, Rock'em Sock'em Icons.
The bird has won.
Yep, there we go. I always find these parts with the icons more challenging than the actual fighting with like swords and stuff as human form. Not harder in the sense that like they're more challenging. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's different. Ow! Come on, let's get that stagger. Yeah, get wrecked. Uh-oh. The rapture, huh? Ow. How does one go about dodging something like that? Oh, crap. Oh, no, 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 don't do that, don't do that. Don't. $40? Oh, come on, man. Ow. There, melt him down, melt him down. Let's go! Almost got him. Almost got it, almost got it. There we go. Point blank, right in the face. Let's go. Ah, it's such a thing of beauty. Holy crap, the lights, man! Holy crap, the lights! What is even happening right now? This is absolutely ridiculous. I love it. There's the stagger. Okay, let's take him out here. There we go. Are we gonna have another round? Another round? Another round? Come on, one more round. One more round. One more round.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
My will is inviolable. Something is wrong.
You're afraid. You always have been. From the moment the Blight exposed what you were, weak, you conceived us to prove otherwise. But the result shook you to the core. For in us you saw yourself, and realized we had the potential to be more than you could ever be. And so you turned your back on your creation. Your back on the world, like the coward you are.
You think you know me? You know nothing, Logos. Nothing.
Fine then, come at me, bro. Oh, he's getting big mad again. Oh no, he's getting multiple mad. Not just big mad, multi-mad. Jack, is that you?
Bathed in light, I stand above you, my rebirth complete. And you, for
We'll
your
see.
defiance, shall pay the proper price.
We'll see about that.
Eternity of anguish.
Anguish, pain, suffering. You have known none of these. But we have. So we know what they grant. They bring us together. And that makes us strong.
My will be done.
Nice try.
Ow! Was not expecting that.
Let's try.
Oh, was not expecting a mash sequence. Oh, another mash sequence. Oh, is this going to be a thing where we have to mash sequence all of our summons?
Unyielding.
Titan!
Dang, man. Fists of Fury.
You cannot have this power. It is not yours to take.
Let's try.
Okay, yank him down. There we go.
Let's try.
Let your will be heard.
Let's try.
Darkness pray.
Let's try.
Come on, get the stagger, get the stagger, get the stagger, get the stagger, get the stagger. Thank you. Oh. Round 2 of our summon off. Bahamut time.
That's my boy!
Ice unfeeling.
Reaver!
Together!
Somebody's getting wrecked.
Unending.
Odin. Onward, my son.
Nice how they ended out with his dad.
Mine is the altar at which you pray.
No, no, that's okay.
The eyes that look down upon you all.
And yet still you cannot see. You are no better than us. We are one and the same.
And I'm gonna take you down with my onion sword! Wow, that's the first appearance of Holy. Okay, since you're gonna stand there, I guess we'll use a tornado on you. Oh, come on, man. So I guess we just have to let him attack and just wait it out. Okay, yank him down. We'll shred that stagger bar. What triumphant sounding music. Holy crap, man.
When all hope is burned away, naught will remain but ash.
Bro, you missed. Ow. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Thank you. All right, let's go. We're gonna have a match sequence. Oh, there it is.
Forevermore.
Get wrecked, nerd. Dang, he went ape.
So sure of your
Clive's got no chill.
You refuse to acknowledge those below. You chose to remain alone. And so you shunned the one thing that could have made you stronger. Pushed away the hands that could have raised you higher. I did not need you or anyone. And that is where we are different. I could not have made it here on my own. I carry with me the hopes and dreams of my brothers, my sisters. And it is they who will give me the strength to end your reign.
We almost got him, too.
I cannot end.
Get wrecked! The Final Fantasy?
The only fantasy here is yours.
They did it! They did it!
Final wish.
Final and Fantasy on the screen at the same time. I think
I said, it's over.
boop. Max damage. Ultimalius. What a name. No experience, huh? That was freaking intense, man. Holy crap. That was intense. Talk about fun, though. Holy crap, is he aggressive? That was an absolute blast, though. Jeez. So many final forms.
Tell me, what do you imagine will befall this world now that you have gained your precious freedom?
I honestly don't know. But I doubt it will be pretty. A sorry tale of sin and suffering, hardship and pain.
And it was for this that you fought so fiercely? Why?
It's who we are.
And it's not for anyone else to decide.
Fight. We survive. We endure. We don't need a reason. We are imperfect creatures. When we stumble, we reach for a shoulder to lean on. When we fall, we stand back up. We see the horizon, ever out of reach, and still we march on. Certain the answers lie just beyond it. Because that is our way.
My congratulations. Relish this victory, knowing that you have but delayed the inevitable. Your world is already dead.
So we just absorb them just like that? Just, oh, hey, you're like the ultimate, like, literally what the game claims is a god, but, you know, we just absorb them like it's nothing? Does that mean that Ultima finally got his wish that we merged? Because he was trying to merge into Clive so that Clive could be the vessel, but in the end we absorbed Ultima, so we're kind of still a vessel technically. He's carrying Ultima with him. That's I feel like Ultima got what he wanted in the end here. In a kind of roundabout way if you think about it. Wow, does the beginning of the game feel like a long time ago? Well, their uncle still looks like pretty much almost exactly the same as he, like, from that time in the game and in the future. Pretty much identical, just the color of the hair. That's it. Dang, so we just keep going further back in time? That right there, when you're a parent, the first time your kid grabs your finger, it is the greatest feeling in the entire world. There is nothing like it.
It seems Ultima's power was too great for this vessel all along.
while I have it. Perhaps I can use it to set things right. And see Ultima's legacy. Bearers, dominance, crystals, magic, consigned to the flames. Even if it means the end of me.
Uh-oh, one final round of Super Saiyan Clive.
These are our terms.
Are you freaking kidding me? You're gonna end it like that? Is that Clive on the beach there? Hopefully he landed in the water, not on the sand. Because that would have freaking hurt, man. Oh, dang, is he going full statue? That makes me question, though, if he's going full statue like the curse.
Can he see it too? Jill?
If Ultima's gone and the ether's pretty much done, then you would think that the bearers wouldn't have magic anymore and that this curse wouldn't be afflicting them anymore.
Aren't you the most beautiful thing?
He is, isn't he? What are you gonna call him?
Let me see, let me see. Oh, read little one. Got a smile for your Uncle Gov.
Not so loud, you burp.
What? I was only...
Shh, you're scaring him.
It's all right.
Oh.
Ooh. So was that red thing in the sky a representation of the Phoenix this whole time? Dang, there's a wrinkle.
If you need a rest, I can take him.
I'll hold you to that.
The world yours now. Yours to do with as you please. That's what Sid wanted. That's what they both wanted. And thus did our journey end.
Okay, so I have questions. we'll let the credits go for a minute though. So I'm hoping they have a scene that happens after the credit, because there's some loose ends here that I don't know if they can fill with DLC. There's zero explanation. Like it's implied at the end there that red dot in the sky is kind of a representation of Phoenix, but it didn't go out when, or well, no, Josh transferred his Phoenix powers live, so I guess that makes sense. But that goes out. But what was it that took Clive out? Was it the fall? Was it using the massive power to bust away Origin, or was it the curse? Because if the curse took him even after Ultima was gone, then that makes me question what happened to the other bearers that had the curse, because I'm pretty sure Jill had it. So that would imply that, I mean, assuming it wasn't just, complete power overload for Clive and then he just fell from the sky. It's kind of implied there that he was turning to stone the way his hand was. And they kind of make you go down the route of thinking that it's the curse that took him. Because right after they show he's got it, they start, well, that's it, that's the end of Clive. I'm looking forward to any DLC they put out for this. And I'm hoping that their DLC, when and if that happens, includes Leviathan. Because you absolutely cannot just throw out phrases like, oh, Leviathan, the Lost, and then just not ever mention it ever again. Like, you can't. Leviathan is like a mainstay of the Final Fantasy series. So, like, if they don't give Leviathan DLC, they're kind of missing the boat on that one. I don't know necessarily what else they would do with DLC in this, though. Like, story-wise, outside of introducing other icons, there's nothing really story-wise that they could do. Like, I mean, they could do DLC for, like, the story of Sid up to the point where he meets Clive, because we don't really see too much of that other than flashbacks. Maybe a DLC pack that follows Josh for follows through what he's experiencing through the time leading up through all of the years until him and Clive meet again. That would be really cool to see. Because, like, we don't necessarily know exactly what he got up to. We just know that he was up to stuff. He was just kind of lurking behind the scenes, but it would be cool to see, like, you know, the quest line ins and outs of what he got up to. And I would like to see more with Typhon, but I don't think we're going to get that. Because they just threw Typhon in there and we had to fight him and that was it. We didn't see him ever again. We didn't hear anything. There was no mention of Typhon at all. So I have to assume that when we fought Typhon, that's just like an alternate form of Ultima, because he seemed to have like dozens of different forms. Overall, though, I would say they did a pretty phenomenal job with this game. And you have to understand what it is, though. Because, like, if you go through the Final Fantasy series, every single Final Fantasy is pretty... It's not like a drastic difference, but they all are very different from each other. They might not seem that way at first, but when you start poking in through the little the intricacies of them, they are quite different from each other. But this one, I think, is probably the most different from any other Final Fantasy in the series. Just based on the fact that you play as one singular character, you have no control over any other characters. You get to switch over to Josh once. But you don't... Like, there's no secondary party members that you can have equipment for. The biggest divergence from the series, I think, was the MP meter. There was no MP meter. You just got magic. That was it. Just, there you go. Here's your magic. Use it. And it was either no charge or full charge, which is huge because normally you have like the different tiered spells. So looking at this game as a game, like just a unique experience, not factoring in the fact that it's a Final Fantasy, phenomenal. Although I do wish they would have fleshed out the crafting system a lot more. I wish they would have done a little bit more with the items. Because there was no real... Like, you had potions to, like, restore health. You had, like, the elixirs and stuff. And a couple different kinds of buff potions, but there was no, like, attack items, there was no status effect items, nothing like that, which was really different. Like, it takes a layer off of things that you have to manage and things that you have to, like, expend resources for in order to get. Like, you're not running to the shop to be like, oh, okay, well, I need to make sure I have, you know, we'll bring about 20 antidotes, that should be fine. There's none of that. The focus, I think, was put on the accessories, but the accessories, for the most part, they kind of suck. I used the same 3 accessories pretty much for the entirety of the game. And I didn't feel compelled to change them. And I mean, like, don't even get me started on the Genji glove. Plus 5% attack. That's like a slap in the face to what the Genji glove is. But I noticed too, with the hunts, there doesn't seem to be any, like, there didn't appear to be any, like, secret hunts or anything, because we got a trophy for it. And there didn't seem to be any secret side quests, because we got the trophy for finishing the side quests. So, I don't know if this is going to be the first Final Fantasy that doesn't have, like, an optional super boss kind of thing. It feels that way, though. I feel like from like a side quest and hunt perspective, they kind of went with, like, the bare minimum. Like, they give you a lot of side quests to do, but you get them along the story. Like, you don't have to actually go out of your way to find them. Like, sure, yeah, a couple of the S rank hunts, they don't tell you where you are, but if there's only so many places to run around on the map, eventually you're going to find it. And the equipment, like, I feel like they could have handled the weapons better. Like, a lot better. Or all the equipment in general. Like, basically, like, you start an area, you have your sword, you get a sword at some point through it, or you beat the area and get the items, and then you can craft a new sword, and then you can go and upgrade it, and then you never touch any of the equipment that you have ever again, because there's no special effect for it. Like, the weapons don't seem to have any special attributes outside of their attack and stagger stat. Which is kind of disappointing. Like, they could have changed it up by adding, like, I don't know, they could have had weapons with, like, a poison element to it, where, like, you hit the enemies, cause them poison, and yes, you might have less attack power than a potentially more powerful weapon, but the poison could do just passive damage over time that offsets that. So if you like to play that way, you can poison the enemy and then just kind of run around while the poison slowly ticks down their health. They could have added wrinkles like that, but they didn't. It's just, they're just straight weapons. Just attack and stagger, that's it. And having the potions limited, it feels like they were trying to take some of the cues from the item system in, like, honestly, the way they limited the potions, it kind of felt like Secret of Mana a bit. Because with those games, you get, like, a limited amount of candies. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, it's kind of almost, it's a lot more similar to Star Ocean. There's a game I haven't played in a long time. But in Star Ocean, your healing items in that game are usually berries, and they're usually limited. Like, you can't just have, like, 99 of them. Because I'm pretty sure this is the first and potentially only... Well, I'll say it's the only mainline Final Fantasy that doesn't let you have more than 8 potions total. And you don't have to do side quests to... you don't have to do side quests to increase your item capacity. Normally in a Final Fantasy game, you can get... Like, as soon as you can get the items, if you have the money for it, or if you can find a place to grind them, you can get 99 of them. But not so much here. This game, though, I feel like they put the entirety of the focus on the story, and all of the other stuff, like the items, the crafting system, the weapons, the armor, the accessories, the side quests, the hunts. Those were all secondary for people who wanted to go look around the world a little bit more, and they made these massive environments for the world. Like, when you go to Ash, you're basically at the end of the game, but you have absolutely no incentive at all to explore any of the environments that they made. Like, outside of the hunts, there's no reason, because there's no like side dungeons, there's nothing like that. So they made all these assets and took the time to throw like treasure chests out and stuff, but there's really no reason to go get them, because the chests, all they had was crafting materials in it. Just standard crafting materials, and they didn't contribute really to anything. Like, yeah, sure, you might have found an accessory in it, but the accessories, we didn't use them. Like, yeah, you might need the accessories for when you do the icon challenges, but that's about it. Outside of that, I don't see you needing them. And that's another thing that was kind of disappointing, was the lack of elemental weaknesses. Like, it didn't seem like any enemies were weak to particular elements or strong against particular elements. Which, I mean, I understand why, because you're not, like, when you start the game, all you have is fire. So if you put us up against things that are resistant to fire, then you're kind of like shooting the player in the foot. But there didn't seem to be any kind of, like, if enemies were magic resistant, they were just entirely resistant to all magic, period, not specifics. And the only time I ever saw enemies that were really resistant to anything was when they got a protect spell cast on them, and that made them resistant to physicals that forced you to use magic. Because outside of that, there's really no use for the magic. Other than shooting the odd enemy that's like flying, that's about it. So I feel like there's a lot of things that they could have done a lot better. Or they could have not necessarily done better, but they could have gone about implementing them a little differently. Because, like, the magic feels just kind of entirely wasted. And if they would have forced certain enemies in certain areas to have specific elemental weaknesses, like, we went through the entire game, I never used our Titan abilities. I didn't use our Odin abilities. I didn't really use the Ifrit abilities. Yeah, it was just, the mainstays at the end of it was basically Phoenix, Garuda, and Shiva. Like, I mean, we used Bahamut, but that was before we got Shiva. They don't really incentivize you to use any of them. You just kind of get comfy with the ones that you use and just continue using them because there's no penalty for it. Which is kind of a waste. Because, like, somebody sat there and, like, or whatever, like, however many people on the team, they sat there programming those and making graphics for them and developing movesets and implementing the coding to code all these moves into the game, but they don't incentivize you to actually use them. So whoever worked on the Titan abilities, sorry, but we didn't actually use them because I didn't find a use for it. And I mean, all of that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is bad, because I think they did a phenomenal job with the game. It's just, it would have been nice to see certain things tweaked a little bit to make it feel like Like, honestly, some of the stuff that they included felt kind of pointless. Like the magic. And those stat boosting potions. I think I used one once. Once? Maybe twice? I think we used one when we went after Svarog, but I'm pretty sure Svarog was the hardest enemy in the game. Like, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that, because he was level 50. The only more challenging enemy, I think, would have been Ultima, but Ultima's the final boss. So, I think it would make sense to say that Svarog was probably the hardest enemy in the game, and we took him out at level 38. So, and then I have to assume on top of that their level cap is 50, because we didn't see any enemies above level 50. And we didn't get above level 50. We got to, like, what, level 48, 49? I didn't even look. I think we were at level 48, because the last fights with Ultima didn't give experience. And that's one other thing that I will give this game crap for, is the extremely severe lack of dungeons. What kind of Final Fantasy do you put out there that has 0 final dungeon? You just go in there and it's straight into the final boss battle. So you do like the initial first round with the final boss, set the stakes, and then you go in there and alone and wing it and go through all the final phases, and that's it. There's no dungeon. You can't just make a Final Fantasy without a final dungeon. That's like, if there's one thing that's compulsory, it's a final dungeon sequence. Because you have to make the player feel like, and it's not just because of, you need a cool looking area with cool music at the end of the game to fight enemies and do your final grind before the boss. When you put a final dungeon in a game, it's not really, it can be for those reasons, to give just like a final grinding opportunity, one last challenge, but going through the final dungeon is like the final challenge of the game. Like, okay, this is the hardest area of the game, here you go. You're gonna go through this, and you're gonna face all kinds of crap along the way through this dungeon, and you're gonna get to the final boss. And when you finally make it to the final boss, and you beat the final boss, you feel super accomplished, because you're like, okay, not only did we take down the final boss, but we just went through an entire dungeon beforehand and probably didn't heal. We got to a save point, saved it, and there we go. Where you don't include that, like, all we did for our final dungeon, technically, is just click onto the world map and pick Origin, and then we watched a cutscene. So that's the one thing that I'll give this game crap for, is like, there is virtually no dungeons. Like, you have a handful. Most of the story stuff was just kind of back and forth between the towns. Back and forth between castles and stuff. Which, not gonna lie, felt really weird for a Final Fantasy game to not really have dungeons. Like, even Final Fantasy 15 had dungeons. Mind you, Final Fantasy 15 was kind of an oddball too, from what I remember. That one's been kind of sitting on my shelf for quite some time. I remember when I played it, the one thing I distinctly remember was that I spent almost the entirety of the time I spent playing it was doing side quests. And I remember I got to a point where, like, a bunch of side quests had opened, and I just went through and I was doing all of the side quests. And when I went back to start doing the story stuff again, you just get ridiculously overpowered. So you kind of have to pace it, but you don't want to miss them. So it's kind of a mixed bag on that one. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think, though, one of my favorite parts about this game is the soundtrack. They knocked it out of the park with the soundtrack on this one. that one battle theme that they have, it's not the main boss theme. It's the other boss theme. They use it kind of like for, I'm gonna say it's like for like mini bosses. That boss theme was an absolute banger. There was a couple weird tracks, like the track that you get when you're fighting what was he called, Titan Lost? I don't know, the big Shadow of the Colossus version of Titan. That part of the soundtrack didn't really fit. It was kind of weird. Like, it's not that it was bad, it didn't fit with like the aesthetic of the rest of the soundtrack, really. Oh, one other thing I'm going to give this game crap for. So, the icon battles kind of ramped up. So, and that's not the bad part. I'm going to get to that. So, we started off with Garuda, and that one was just, we're fighting a big bird in the sky. And then things got a little more nutty, and we had to fight Typhon. Or, well, Typhon, I won't really call Typhon an icon, but after we fought Typhon, we got Rama. And then after that, we fought Titan. And Titan we actually got to climb up him, and it was, like, pretty epic. So, going through all of these summons, or icons, they progressively got, like, the battles for them got progressively more intense, up to the point where we fought Bahamut. Bahamut, we fought him in space, and we merged with the Phoenix. That was, like, the pinnacle. That was, like, peak insanity. And when you think about how that progressed to that point, you end up merging with, so you turn into an icon and your brother turns into an icon, and you merge into like the Megazord and fly into space to fight a dragon shooting lasers at you. That's insane. So what do they follow that up with? They followed that up with Odin. The most lame letdown. So, number one, Barnabas is an absolute cuck. Like, he's probably the least imposing, least intimidating figure in the entire game. And they did nothing with him. Like, they made him, like, so he was crying in his... It wasn't actually his naked mom, it was Ultima, but I'm assuming Ultima was showing him what he wanted to see, so... Like, he just showed up, said a couple things, and then made his sword swing, and then destruction followed, and he cut a hole in the ocean. I mean, other than that, he didn't really do anything. We just kind of flickered back and forth between regular fight and... Oh, and that's the other thing. The only way he could ever win against Clive was because Clive forgot how to fight. Like, Clive just decided, I'm not going to dodge anymore. And then Clive would get knocked in his ass, and then you'd wake up somewhere and, Barnabas. Oh, scary. And then you actually fight him, and it's probably the most disappointing thing ever, because he's the last summon that you get, and it's just they completely wasted Odin. Completely wasted Odin. Like, you fight him a couple times back to back over the course of his boss fight, but you don't actually transform for it. You just stay as Clive. It's like the most underwhelming climax to... Like, in my opinion, they should have put Odin before Bahamut, because Odin was absolutely lame. Like, that one, I'm gonna say flat out, that was a garbage fight. It was so, like, I mean, the fights are fun all in all, but you cannot send us up into space fighting Bahamut while we merge with Josh, and then do that with Odin. You just can't do it. It's stupid. It makes zero sense. And they, like, honestly, I would have rather they just had, like, some kind of cringe duel between Clive and Barnabas, and then just called it a day at that. Like, Barnabas could have just been like, oh, on my honor, you won, here's Odin. Then he could have just walked away, never to be seen again. And it probably would have worked out better than what they did. But they saved themselves with the fight with Ultima, because that was absolutely freaking wild. They included, like, literally everything. They even had the arena we fought Typhon. And, like, we fought him in space. We had Rock'em Sock'em icons. He had, we had, like, the countdown meter, the whole bit. And then we got to fight him in different forms as Clive. We got to see all his different attacks, get the stagger down, go through the different phases, get the dialogue scenes in between. So it was kind of like the Bahamut fight on steroids. Now, I feel like if they did what they did with Bahamut, and they did what they did with Ultima, and they were able to progressively increase the, what do we want to call it? The insanity, the over-the-topness of each of the... Like, they were able to progress how crazy the icon battles were leading up to the pinnacle at Bahamut. You're going to tell me they couldn't make one more crazy boss fight with Odin in between? Like, you're going to tell me that, like, Clive couldn't have gotten one more final transformation with Ifrit and, you know, fought Odin in the sky? I mean, like, when you think about what Odin did, he cut the ocean and we fought him on the ocean floor. Where, again, he forgot how to fight. It's just, they had so many missed opportunities to have some cool things happen with Odin. Because of the two summons, probably the two coolest summons is Bahamut and Odin. Because they're not just the standard summons. You got a dragon and a Norse god that rides a horse. Oh, cool. Okay, let's see what the scene entails. Hopefully some potential answers for something. Not gonna get my hopes up though.
Every time.
Will you light it?
Yes, Mother. Come on. If only I had the flames of an icon.
Icon? Have you been reading that silly story again? Magic belongs in fairy tales, and fairy tales don't boil kettles. You see? Well done. Now, be a good lad and play with your brother until supper.
So people have already
Hurry.
forgotten
Hurry. Right.
about the icons.
Right, let's play the saint in the secretary. No, I don't want to be Madu. What do you want to play then? War of the Icons! Again? Oh, right. Did I get to be Ifrit? Right, I'm the older brother. Because Bahamut says so.
So that's an interesting wrinkle. They have a book called Final Fantasy that Josh wrote. Really, game? You're going to do that? You're going to leave it on a cliffhanger? Game? Game? Okay, fine. We'll create game clear data. That's where you're going to freaking end it. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. You can't do it like that, game. New Game Plus is now available from the title screen. This option allows you to start a new game with player and item data carried over from a previously completed playthrough. The gameplay mode Final Fantasy is also now available for use exclusively with New Game Plus. Final Fantasy mode. The Final Fantasy gameplay mode offers the following: increased enemy strength and increased player level cap. Okay, so you get to actually make it to level 100. So it's basically hard mode. New gear and items and mode exclusive content. This mode is recommended for players who wish to test their limits. Well, I thought we were only going to have like 1 or 2 more videos to go to, or maybe 3 or 4 to go back through and finish those icon challenges. Looks like we're going to play the game again because I am intrigued. Mode exclusive content? What even does that mean? But for now, we will call it a video here because this has been going on for like an hour and a half. What an ending, though. I still have so many questions. And after waiting through the credits to see that little scene, just to see a book that says Final Fantasy by Josh Rossfield, that honestly makes me want to slap something. Because, like, you can't do that, man. Just so many unanswered questions. And so obviously, like, magic doesn't exist in the world, but it was written down as like a fiction novel? Does that mean Josh is still alive because he wrote a book? And how long after the events of the game does that scene take place? And what's the deal with everyone else? And so does that mean we're going to have like a part 2 to this game? Because they ended there with where one journey ends. Okay, well, you're implying where one journey ends, another begins. Like, was that just an allusion to New Game Plus, or are they looking at starting an entirely new journey with an entirely new protagonist in the same world with a new threat that pops up? Because, Ultima's back, or something crazy like that. But this time you got to fight him and beat him with no magic, because magic isn't a thing in the world. Too many questions. Too many questions, and I really sincerely hope that they can answer some of those questions with DLC. But we will call it a video here, and we will cap off our first playthrough, I think, with this one, because I'll worry about going and getting the icon challenges in New Game Plus. Might as well do them on hard mode, right? But yeah, we'll wrap this up here. And I'm debating, I might throw something else in between here before we start up hard mode. And we may swap hard mode over to the noon time slot. I don't know. Just to change it up so it's not like, Final Fantasy 16 for like forever. I might even go longer videos. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we'll jump into it, and whatever feels right, we'll stick with it. But if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like these, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching.